Hello again. Okay, got the. I'm still buffing. I just got the doors on. Everything's done. I was come out this morning to get start buffing the mirrors and get those mounted before I put the glass in. But yesterday, I went and picked up my wheels. I'd taken them down to a shop in Columbus to get them machined. These are the wheels that I actually started to polish. I was using that little brake lathe right there, put them on there, bolt them up, turn the machine on, spins it, and then I just held the sandpaper on it, and I was going to work my way up to completely polish them. That's a crap ton of work. I've polished things before, but this was just, it was taking so much time. And you can see I sandblasted everything, and then from here out, started sanding it. And that's probably, I mean, to get rid of that sandblast texture, you 36 grit, 80, 100, I'm probably 120, 180 right there. And I've got to go so far with it. It was ridiculous. So I've done them before, and we machined them from here, and then I just painted everything else. But this was going to be a polish job since I started it. Anyway, I took them down. They obviously were nasty, and got them cut. So that's what I was shooting for, and it ends up, I wasn't going to polish them. I just was not going to do it. I would have had to get some different tools. I've got the buffers, I've got the little buffers, but to get into this, it was just going to be too much. And I've never polished a set. I've just cleaned them up because I actually had restored, I bet I probably had 100 wheels years back. You could buy a set for $50. And I had this back of the garage here just stacked with wheels because honestly, I made some good money at it. I can remember doing, probably stopped 4 or 5 years ago because they just got harder and harder to find. And when I was restoring them, nobody was reproducing them. And then OER year one, whoever came out with the first 15 by 8s or whatever, not a lot of people still wanted the original stuff just because they had issues with them. So for a while, anyway, I blew through those, and I kept this set because they were actually in pretty good shape. Usually what I would do is we would TIG weld all the gouges, and I would just leave it, like if you had a gouge in there, I would just TIG weld it in a line or whatever it was. And then when we machined them, you just clean it up. So I would sandblast, TIG weld, and then I got with a guy down in Columbus who was just starting a wheel business, and it was beginning of winter and they were looking for business. So I made a really good deal to get them all done. We had to he bought a big CNC machine, CNC lathe. We had to call manufacturer and get some tooling done to be able to reach down in further. Once that was done, like I said, it was pretty reasonable, and I'll tell you here in a minute. And so I took these down, just got them back, and this is what they look like. But you can see the rainbow effect. That's what I've always go after. And these are a little cleaner, you can tell, than what the factory would do. The factory would still have all the lathe lines going across there. So this is a better, shinier look. And like I said, you can kind of see the rainbow effect. That's pretty cool that it throws on there. The first few that I had done, probably had a little more line to them. He's definitely got better at it. But we tried to powder coat them clear. And let me back up. So the first few, we would powder coat them gold and then machine it. So these were gold in here. I was doing a lot of the black Bandit cars and then obviously selling them, and that's what they wanted, silver with the gold inset there. And we did, it was a custom mix of the gold. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I can't even hardly remember what it was. I think we were mixing some because we ordered a little bit of powder coat. It was bright gold. That ain't right. And then we got some other stuff. But I ended up coming up with an original wheel. And with that original wheel, I went down and color matched and then mixed some, this doesn't tell you anything. There's no code on there. Because what it was, I went and mixed the code 50, I think it's 55, which, that calls for the wheels. And then it was still too bright from looking at the original wheel. So we added some color, did whatever, and that's what I came up with right there. The other thing I have used is I've used, with good luck, the OER paint. And if this is the one right here, that's this is the silver. I have not even used that. This is the gold. They make two different golds, but for the 79s I was doing, this was the one I used. Now, and I'll come back to the other paint in a minute. So I also got to where when I wanted to do some different color, and I'll explain that because I actually used a gray, and then I did a silver that I sprayed in here. It's so easy to tape this off. I just completely taped everything with 2-inch, 2.5-inch tape, and then took a little X-Acto knife. You got the tape over everything. Just X-Acto knife it, and it leaves a good clean edge, and they come out. What I'm thinking about doing on this one, because I'll tell you, it's going on the red car, and because of the way I did this, I'm either going to spray epoxy on everything, which I may do anyway, and it'll kind of fill in the scratches. It'll smooth this out really nice, and of course then it gives something to stick to a little better in here. So just a light coat of epoxy primer. And I'm not sure about what color I'm wanting to use in it, and here's why. I did one, and I really can't remember what color the car was. It wasn't blue, it wasn't gold, it wasn't black. It was something that probably could have used a silver wheel, but the more I looked at trying to find what I thought were original pictures, it looked gray. So I went color shopping and found this, and then did a set of wheels for that. It may have been on a white car. I can't remember. But let me jump on my iPad here and I'll show you why I thought that. I've been to, get this back here. I've been to a ton of shows, and we went to nationals twice. I have never seen a red Trans Am, w72, ws6, black interior with no power. And so no power windows. It's got power steering. You know, it's got the 4-wheel disc brakes, but no power windows. None of that stuff. No AC. So it's just motor. And that being the color of the car, it's got the Silverbird, and I'll show you. So this is the only picture I've ever run across. Let's see if I can blow this up so we can see it. It's that. And if you look, and I found another picture of this same car, it doesn't look like you painted in there silver. Or if it is, it's a really smoky silver. But this is not my car, but this is the only picture I've ever run across that is how this one will look when it's done. And I could never tell if this was even a 4-speed car. Yeah, it says on the call out it is, but you know how that goes. So this being the way the car was going to look, and I had run across cars with the rallies, with all kinds of stuff. And I just am not sure if I want to do a gray or go ahead and do a silver. If anybody knows if any of them either came that way, because I saw another one, and that's how I did that set in the past. I used that gray that I showed you. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And then on the back side, again, I'm not sure. If I did it silver, I would just spray silver all in here, wrap it around. And then again, I'm not sure if I should clear coat it or even attempt to. I'm thinking no. And the reason I couldn't powder coat these is when we powder coated these old castings, what are 50 years old, whatever, it would bubble. And it's because of the castings these were using, and they would off gas, and it just wouldn't look good. Now, if I was to use automotive clear and just spray on there, it wouldn't do that. But then you get that cheap plastic, thick looking, you can tell they're clear coated. This is nice the way they look. As long as you keep them clean, they'll look like that forever. It's not like I'm gonna go drive in the mud or anything. And I don't know, that was just it. I was wondering if anybody's ever seen the gray, an original, or is it just I'm looking at what should be a silver and it's a darker silver? I don't know. I've never even sprayed this from OER. So again, you don't know if that's original. It's something somebody just put in a can. I don't know. So if you got any help on that, I would appreciate it. And that's on the wheels. And then I've got to get a set of Goodyear TA radials. That's all I've ever put on these cars. I like them. Honestly, I don't even really care when you get down to the details about what's a better tire. To me, they just belong on it. It always looked, what's the brand name? I can't even remember. It's one that people were using, but I'm like, that looks like it belongs on a Ford. And I don't know, it's just one of those things. They look good, and that's what I want. So I got to find a cheap set of those. Last ones, I'm in Ohio. I had to order from California. It was cheaper to get them out of California shipped to me. I think Tire Rack, but we'll give that a try. So anyway, the wheels came out pretty nice. Oh, and as far as price on it. He's almost got he's got this whole thing stored. He's done enough. He's probably done 100 of them for me, so they know what they're doing. They're in Columbus, and to do just the machining, it's $75 a wheel. So you really can't beat that. And yeah. So anyway, that's the wheel. If you can help out, great. And I can't wait to get these things mounted. It always makes the car look complete when you finally get one on there. So that's that. I'm just going to make this a one-off video because I got a question about the wheels. And the thing is, it seems like if I ask on Facebook, you get any of the groups, you know, the TA groups or whatever, you get 90% wrong answers, and you know they're wrong, as opposed to anything else. Now, there's a few guys that I listen to, because like me, I know they've done a dozen or 100 Trans Ams, and they've probably seen it all. But anyway, appreciate it if you got any insight. And now I'm going to go back to sanding and buffing on the mirrors and try to get all the small stuff done again. Later.